everybody. Welcome to NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm your host, Greg Martin. You know, we've been talking to a number of the different NAUI dive shops around the country to discuss with them some of the magic things that they do to bring customers in to further education, all the different little bits and pieces that the dive shop, which is everybody's connection to the dive industry. Wanted to talk with folks down in Fort Myers, Florida, Scubavice Dive Center, and Ramiro Palma is joining us today, live via the magic of the telephone. So, Ramiro, you've been a NAUI guy for quite a while, right?
Yes, I originally got certified in 1982 in Orlando. Come from a diving family. My dad was an avid diver, and so as a kid I got certified and started diving my butt off.
So there's a difference between diving around the country, and we were just discussing that before we started talking here. I'm a cold water diver from the Pacific Northwest. You're a warm water diver from Florida. What's it like when you wind up getting somebody into the shop from some place like the Northwest or a cold water environment? How do you guide them into realizing they don't need all that gear?
It can be pretty funny sometimes when they come in with 30 pounds of lead weights in the pool session to get refreshed. I'm like, you're not going to need all that weight anymore. The transitions, usually they're surprised how little clothes they got to wear. Just a bathing suit and a lycra top, and you're in the water here in Florida for about 6 months a year. So the change in loss of all that extra equipment sure does throw them for a loop. Also, they're regulators. We can off the old shot glasses off the back of the first stages and open them up and let the regulators not freeze over.
Yeah, that's something I didn't think about. Obviously, my regulator is one of those that I can pound nails with and don't have to worry about it freezing up, but I would never have to worry about that in a warm water environment, would I?
No, never. They're definitely not going to freeze over in 80-degree water in West Palm Beach or 85-degree water down in Key Largo.
Now you're just being mean. That's all it is, Ramiro.
Well, hey, we got to take the good with the bad. We did hit a thermal climb this last weekend. I was in Jupiter, Florida, diving there for some of the shark dives, and we did hit a thermal climb where the water dropped to 72 degrees, so it was a little refreshing.
Yeah, up here in the Pacific Northwest, 72 still is a great day, so I don't have to worry about that. Talk a little bit about your dive shop itself.
Well, got 72.
Yeah. Talk about your dive shop a little bit. Dive shop's been around for a while as well.
Yeah, the store that I opened or reopened has been around for 40 years at that same location. And I reopened the store in 2011 under the Scubavice Diving Center banner, so to speak. And we have an indoor heated pool, a big classroom. I'm a full NAUI course director, so I do a couple of instructor classes every year. This past spring, I certified 8 new instructors, which are all working their butt off right now in the summertime. And then we slow back down in the wintertime to a kind of a normal crawl of students every 2 weeks instead of every week.
One of the things about dive shops is trying to keep business going. Now, in a place like Florida where your access to water is easy and it's warm water diving, dive shops maybe, I won't say this to be offensive, but you maybe don't have to work quite as hard as some of the more landlocked or northern climb dive shops. But what are some of the things that you do to keep the flow of students coming in the door?
And that's something we struggle with all year round, and all the dive shops struggle with it. It's one of the big things we do is really push the referral business, try to get our former students to get their family and friends in. I spend money every quarter, and I do television advertisements on TV. I'm on cable TV. We put on a couple of funny, humorous television commercials, and it draws clients to the shop. Facebook, marketing. There's just so many things that we need to implement, and the dive shops just don't have time, which is another issue.
You're doing television. That's kind of a first for some of the folks that I've talked with. How does that work for you?
Well, I got to tell you, it's got to be the best bang for my buck. I'm doing the local cable television, program here. Well, different programs they put me on. Like starting next week, Shark Week hits, and I've spent quite a bit of money to make sure I'm on every day during the Shark Week, a couple of times a day, even on the nice premium nights to get people there. And if anything, people laugh. They see it. They say, hey, Ramiro, I saw you on cable the other day. Our customers are watching those shows, and then they see us and they remind us to come back. You got to get that reminder thing. I try to get out and do as many outdoor events as possible throughout the year. Art shows, Saturday morning they do here in town, farmer's market. I've done that table a couple of times. And you meet people, your old customers, but then you meet new customers.
It's interesting. Just being in front of people is important.
Yeah, it really is. And here in our town, they also do another thing they call bike night, where they close off the main, what they call the downtown area, and they put up vendors, and everybody comes out on their motorcycles, and they have live music. And I set up a table for that, every other month when they do it in the wintertime, which is our busy season here for the locals. And every time I run into my former customers as well as new customer and clients. And the other thing, get the old customers back to the show. Oh, you're right, Ramiro. I haven't seen you in a few years. I got to get my gear serviced. I got to go do a refresher in the pool. Oh, I saw that you have a trip coming up to somewhere. When can I sign up for that? Just getting out there is so important for the small business owners to remember that.
So one last question for you, Ramiro, before we move on is you've been part of NAUI for a long, long time. How important is it being a NAUI dive center?
I was brought up in the world of NAUI because of the training aspects of it. My dad was a big stickler on making sure we learned how to do everything. And NAUI guys in town were the best in town. And then ever since then, as I've grown in the industry, so I started diving when I was a kid. I got out of the Army and became an instructor. All the NAUI guys have always been a little more professional than some of the other organizations out there, which just push their people through too fast. The lack of experience gets people in, and then they just don't become divers. They just, click it off their to-do list, and then they're done. Where NAUI really instills the knowledge and education to get divers through. In all of the years that I've been teaching, I've never had an accident. And my students often on our checkout dives rescue the other guys' students on the checkout dives.
That's quite a story to be able to tell.
Oh, yeah. Training is so important. I'm teaching rescue at every level of what we're doing. I've got a rescue class going on right now, and I'm doing something now with our local boater squadron where I'm going to start doing classes for people, especially here. We have an older demographic population. What if you slip and fall in your boat and land in the water? How's your 60-year-old spouse going to get you out of the water and back into your boat?
Looking around you and finding a need, and now obviously you're filling that need. That's an important thing for a dive shop, a local business owner to take on. We've got to go where our customers. They're boaters, they're fishermen, they're outdoorsy people. We've got to go where they're at and get them crossed over to diving. And with the power squadron here, we've got a lot of water here where we are. We are the Venice of the United States with the canals that we have. This is a little niche I found because this older population, like I said, if the old man slips and falls because he drank too many martinis, how's his wife going to get him back into the boat, or how are his buddies even going to get him back into the boat? Well, good luck to you down there. Obviously Fort Myers is not Seattle, Washington, so the diving is going to be a little bit different. But you found your place, and good luck and best success to you down there, Ramiro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We will keep chugging along, and I got to get ready because I'm going shark tooth diving this weekend.
Sounds like a good deal. Hey, listen, if you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on iTunes or Google Play. Love to hear your comments as well. Email me, podcast@naui.org. And, of course, if you're interested in learning to scuba dive or take an advanced class or a refresher course, check out your local NAUI dive shop like Scubavice Diving Center down there in Fort Myers, Florida. And that's this episode of NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm Greg Martin. Thank you for listening. I'll see you underwater.